Before we begin, let's just take a tiny joy moment together. Wherever you are right now, driving, walking, picking up or dropping off kids, running errands, or just taking a quiet moment to sit, I invite you to pause for just a breath. Inhale slowly and exhale gently. Now, notice one small thing around you that feels good. Maybe it's the warmth of the room, the sound of your own breathing, a message you received today, or a memory that made you smile. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be perfect, just something simple, something kind. Let yourself hold that for a moment, because joy doesn't always arrive in fireworks. Sometimes it shows up in whispers. And today, we're choosing to listen. Mom, can you share your joy moment with us?
Yeah, this is my joy moment. It has been just an absolute privilege to hear you read the beginning of this podcast and this joy moment, and just having you here with me today. So, this is one of my joy moments for today. Did you have a joy moment today?
I love that. I think this was also a joy moment for me. But earlier today, when we were all sitting together watching a movie, that was a joy moment for me too. I just had a lovely time just spending time with family,
Yeah,
especially going away to college. It feels good to all be together because we don't get it as much anymore.
that's right. That's right. And we have to take those moments, all the moments that we have to be together. They're really special and important. So no
I
matter how
agree.
small or how big, these small moments matter.
Yeah, I agree. All right. Welcome to Hell with Joy, the space where we talk about mental well being, faith, and the everyday practices that help us live with courage and compassion. I'm your guest host, Darby, and my heart behind this podcast is simple to remind you that joy is always available, even when life feels heavy. Today's episode of Hell with Joy is a little different, and honestly, a little special. Instead of my mom doing the interviewing, I get to turn the tables. So let me introduce you to my guest. She has a PhD in clinical psychology. She's spoken at conferences across the country. She's been a chief well-being officer, a director, a trailblazer in healthcare mental health, and yes, she also makes sure we eat dinner and asks if I did my homework. But right now, she's the founder of something really exciting called Joy University, and she's about to tell you all about it and about JoyFest, a free virtual event that's coming up very soon. She believes joy isn't somewhere far off. She believes it's available to you right now, right where you are. Ladies and gentlemen, my mom, Dr. Kelly Holder.
Thank you for that introduction. I'm tickled just hearing you read it out loud.
Ah, that's funny. All right. Are you ready for some questions?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
All right, let's jump into it. So, my first question, Mom, what is Joy University and how did it come to be?
It's a good question. So, Joy University is a space that I am building, a space that I am creating where people can learn how to cultivate joy, learn how to build joy skills, especially for themselves, so that they can live the lives that they truly want to live. I think many of us, if we could choose to have joy as part of our daily experience, we would. And yet sometimes joy feels like it's slippery or it can get away from us. And there are tools and resources that we can use to build that joy. And I really want to help people do this because once joy is on board, it's also contagious. So it's not even just about us as individuals, it's also about us in our communities as well. And so this is like just my idea of ways to kind of spread joy and help joy grow for individuals, for families, for communities, for organizations.
Thank you for sharing that. I really like what you said about joy being contagious and how being able to even hold on to joy for yourself can help somebody else hold on to joy. I think that's
Yeah.
really beautiful, really powerful. really cool stuff you're doing with Joy and Joy University. So, where did the name come from? Why Joy University specifically?
Yeah, it's interesting because I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to call what I was doing. Initially, the work I was doing, I didn't even have the word joy in it. I was doing a lot of well-being and self-care work. And if I could be completely honest, there's a book I've been working on for almost 10 years that um, was specifically about self-care and well-being tools to help shift and change people's lives, making it really accessible. And I had an experience in this last year that made me want to dig more into joy, even more than I had in the past. And I realized all the things that I'd been studying about joy and all the things that I'd been studying about self-care, mental health, and well-being had an intersection. And as I was looking at that intersection, I started thinking about what would it look like if we started thinking about where we wanted to go instead of just the things we wanted to get rid of. So I've done a lot of work in burnout, overwhelm as a clinical psychologist, anxiety and depression. And so we often shape programs around what we want to be rid of. And I got the idea from Joy University because I wanted to create something that described where we were going and where we wanted to stay instead of a program centered around the things we wanted to get rid of. So that's kind of how I came up with the term Joy University. I played around with Joy Academy, Joy University, and Joy University sounded bigger. So I said, why not go big? Let's do Joy University.
Wow, I love that. I love that.
Thanks.
Was there a moment when you realized joy was the missing piece in your own life?
Yeah, I had an experience maybe 10 years ago. I went through a really tough period 10 to 12 years ago. There was a lot of changes in our family, a lot of changes in the world around me. And I went through a very dark period where I was doing a lot of crying. And that might sound funny to you, Darby, because I cry for a lot of reasons. We watched a movie today and I cried 7 times during that movie, during that movie because it was so good. But the crying I was doing during that season was about feeling a sense of loss, feeling like I wasn't able to accomplish my goals, and feeling like I had lost control of my life and there was a lot of uncertainty. And it was during that period that I started digging into joy in another kind of way, through scriptures and reading the Bible, specifically studying the book of Ruth. And during that period, I started to realize that joy was part of joy was available, even though I was going through this really dark and tough season. And so, one of the things I did during that season was I started getting my nails done every 2 weeks. And it sounds frivolous, but during that season, having my nails done was almost a visible sign that I could take care of myself and that there are things available to me that was going to help me thrive and live. And enjoy what's available to me even during this tough season. And I think that experience that I had 10 years ago was the starting point where I had a click, a change in my brain around what does it look like instead of what would it look like if I allowed joy to be part of my life now versus waiting until this season is over or this problem is solved or I'm able to reach the goal that I want for joy to come. And it was at that time, it was a small beginning of me realizing that joy needed to be part of what's happening daily in my life and not just something I was waiting to get rewarded with once the problems were solved and things were accomplished.
Wow. I love that. I love that this joy journey is personal to you and you're able to bring that personal experience into what you're building and what you're creating. So
Yeah, yeah.
So I have another question.
Okay.
How does your faith connect to the work you're doing with Joy University? And I know you kind of talked about it a little bit, but can you tell us a little bit more?
Yeah, faith is integral to it. I think what makes joy and happiness so different is that joy has a component in it that is outside of the realm of what we can see, smell, touch, or taste. And so my faith is really integral into how I see joy. In the Bible, there are lots of texts about joy. And one of the texts that are really important to me is found in Nehemiah, where it says, "The joy of the Lord is your strength." And in this passage in the Bible, Nehemiah, and if you haven't read the book of Nehemiah, it might be worth reading, but the walls of Jerusalem, I believe, that area had been torn down. Nehemiah wasn't even in the area. He felt called by God to go back and repair the walls. And through this whole process, all sorts of things happened. But one of the things that happened was that the law was reintroduced to the folks there. And when they saw the law, their hearts were so heavy because they were so far from what God had asked for them to do. And what is very curious to me is that instead of saying, yeah, y'all are struggling, you need to be hard on yourself, they told the people, don't weep. We're not going to weep. We're actually going to celebrate because the joy of the Lord is your strength. That is what's going to aid us in making the changes and doing what we have to do next. And in the chapters that follow, we see that they do go through all the steps necessary to get themselves back in alignment with the goals and the values that were important to them. But before that was done, they celebrated. They were asked to live with joy. And I think in my own life, I have missed the mark in that way. And it's something that I've been rebuilding in my own life. Instead of always beating myself up in terms of trying to get to the next thing in life, why not lean into joy and celebrate this idea that God has granted me the gift of joy? In Galatians, we see that joy is one of the fruits of the Spirit. So it's going to be given, but I get the opportunity to cultivate it. And so if I can take that joy and use God's joy as a strength and cultivate it to aid me in going the places where God has already asked me to go, I think that makes a huge difference in the way in which we see joy being activated in our lives. So my faith is highly connected to the work I'm doing in Joy University. And that faith piece is the foundation for all the other steps and all the other practices that I think are important in cultivating joy long term, because ultimately, I don't conjure up joy. Joy is given to me as a gift.
Wow, that's powerful. I love that. I love how you talked about they celebrated before they started putting in all of the work to make revisions to get back to the way God had intended for things to be. And it's like you said earlier when you were talking about your personal journey, even though you're working towards things, joy is available right there.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
like how you doubled down on that when you answered that question. That was really great.
Oh, thanks.
All right, let's talk about Joy Fest. So tell us more about it. What is it? What can people expect from it?
Yeah, I'm so excited about Joy Fest. Joy Fest really is an introduction to Joy University. I like to tell people Joy Fest is three things. One, it's a celebration that I've had the courage to even move forward with this idea of Joy University. So I've been inviting people, if they just want to come and celebrate with me, that is enough because Joy Fest is going to be a celebration. Number two, Joy Fest is an introduction to Joy University. Some of the practices and things that we're going to do during Joy Fest are part of what we'll be doing within Joy University, so people can get a taste of that as well. And the third thing is that Joy Fest also will give people an opportunity. There's going to be a group of people who are ready now that says, wait a minute, I need Joy University right now. And there'll be an opportunity for people to join this program that I'm setting up. It's a guided experience to aid people in cultivating joy long term. And so folks will have an opportunity to do that. But it's going to be a fun event. People can expect to move, time to reflect, time to journal. So I'm asking if whoever attends to come comfortable, ready to move, comfortable, ready to write, ready to reflect. We've got three amazing speakers who are going to be with us. We've got Leah J.M. Dean, who is the author of two wonderful books, Assemble the Tribe and Be Different. And I know Be Different has made an impact on your life, Darby, because I know that you've read that book. And
Yes.
I might ask you to reflect on that in a bit. So she'll be there, and she's amazing. A good friend of mine whose name is Dr. Amanda Davis Bowie. She is the director and owner of a practice called Strength, Love, and Motivation. She has been a therapist and a clinical practice owner for more than 20 years. She's written her own workbooks, and she is just an amazing, amazing woman who not only has clinical acumen around personal development and change, she also has a relationship with God, and those things kind of shine through in her work. And so our conversation with her is going to be really important. And then I have one of my besties. Her name is Dr. Kyra Norris. She's going to be with us. She might not consider herself an athlete, but as far as I'm concerned, she's an athlete. She's a family medicine doctor. She is also a specialist in obesity medicine. And she's going to be aiding us and talking about how we say yes to aligning not just our mental health and emotional health, but our physical health in terms of cultivating well-being. And so I think these three guest presenters are really going to bring some really rich foundation to the work that we're going to be doing in Joy University, but also help people have some not just fun, but walk away with some practical tools that they can carry into their life. So Joy Fest is going to be all the things. And I really hope that people will will come, not just come, but walk away feeling like, man, this was a great way to spend 2 hours of my day.
Sounds like it's going to be a great time, lots of growth happening. Sounds
Yeah.
great. So who is JoyFest really for? Like, who needs to be there?
Yeah, Joy Fest is for high performing women of faith in particular. This is for women who show up for everybody, the woman who volunteers, the woman who takes all the phone calls and manages everything, the woman who might not get a lot of people asking her how she's doing because she's the one always asking how everybody else is doing. Individuals who fall in this category in particular need to be there because this space is going to open up a safe space for women who are afraid sometimes to let people know how they're doing because they're so invested in everyone in their community that they're fearful that if they say things aren't great with them, that things will fall apart for all the people that they're supporting. And so sometimes there's not really safe places for folks like that because they care so deeply about their communities, their families, that they could fear that their own vulnerability might make things challenging for those around them, either in their workplace, in their home, where they show up. And I really want to create a space for these women in particular. I believe that this space is for them in particular. I believe a lot of other folks can benefit, but if anybody needs to be there, she needs to be there.
Sounds great. Sounds good. All right. What's going to happen at JoyFest that people can't get anywhere else?
Oh my goodness. I think what will happen at Joy Fest that can't be gotten anywhere else is the combination of the things that we will be doing, but also the perspective that we are taking. We are looking towards what we are going to live with, and this does not require us to accomplish anything right now. You don't have to get the kids potty trained or get them in school or get folks graduated or get that goal or get that degree. This program isn't about personal accomplishment. While the program may aid in that, the idea is to help people see the goodness that is available right now and be able to take hold of it. I am of the high opinion that everyone has good in their lives. And sometimes we have not been trained very well to see it, to hold on to it, and to use that good and those strengths to propel us to whatever's next. And hearing talk like that is few and far between. So I believe this is going to be a very unique space and something you'll be hard pressed to find anywhere else.
Thank you for sharing that. I hope that everybody who needs to be there is able to be there for Joy Fest.
Yeah, me too.
All right. So, what would you want someone to feel walking away from Joy Fest?
When folks finish our time together at Joy Fest, I want folks to walk away feeling that they have been seen and that they are loved beyond measure by a God who's already provided a way for them and granted them joy. I want people to feel like even if I can't feel or experience joy right now, I know that it's not far away. I know that it's within arm's reach and believe that it is being made accessible to them and that they could reach it.
That's important. That's important. As you said before,
Yeah.
the joy of the Lord is our strength. So it's important to have that, to feel that going away from Joy Fest because it propels, it gives strength for the next things that are coming.
Yeah,
I
it
think that's
does.
really important. What does Joy University look beyond Joy Fest? What are the other things that you're building?
Yeah, so Joy University will start soon after Joy Fest. The first offering of Joy University is going to be for a small cohort of women to do an experiential program where they can cultivate joy over time. It is an 8-week program and they'll get a lot of resources and tools and support. We'll do some pre and post testing so that they can see their growth over time. We'll have some interesting ways in which they can cultivate joy, hold on to joy, and also have experiences. And we'll be meeting for 8 weeks. It's going to be a unique experience because it's not a course, it's not therapy. And it is also just this opportunity to dig into your life and find the good in a way that is accessible and maybe in a way that many of us not may not have had the opportunity and the time to do. The the principles that Joy University is built on is a combination of faith-based spirituality information, good science around well-being, and good science around mental health. And having the three of those things as components in a program, I think is also very unique. So I'm very excited about the first cohort of Joy University. And I'm also excited because I will potentially build some other programs as time goes on. But that first Joy University program will be specifically for high performing women of faith for them to go into an 8-week experience. And I'm looking forward to telling more about that at Joy Fest.
Wow, it sounds exciting. It sounds informative and transformative. Very special thing that you have going on with Joy
Yeah.
University. Exciting to have you doing that.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm really excited about it.
Yeah. All right. Let's do a fill in the blank kind of thing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have you finish this sentence.
Okay.
Joy is not somewhere far off. It's blank.
It's right here. It's right here. It's right here. It's available. It is close at hand. And if it seems like it's not, know that it's within arm's reach. You might not be able to reach it now, but it is close by. It is close by.
Wow, I love that. Right. In this episode, we were reminded that joy is a practice. And honestly, hearing my mom talk about why she built Joy University made me proud. If you've been waiting for permission to prioritize your joy, consider this your sign. Joy Fest is free, it's virtual, and it's coming up on June 28th. You don't want to miss it. Thanks, Mom, for being here today.
Thank you for taking the time to interview me. It was an honor.
All right. Of course, of course. Let's do our final closeout thing.
Okay, let's do it.
And through it all, we're reminded that joy is always available in every season and every experience. It doesn't always come easily. It doesn't always look the way we expect. Sometimes joy is quiet. Sometimes it's strength. Sometimes it's rest. Sometimes it's simply making it through the day. But it is there. And if today you're listening and you're having trouble reaching it, if it feels far away or buried under everything you're carrying, please remember this. You are seen, you are valued, you matter, and you are held with joy. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening. Until next time, take gentle care of yourself.
Bye. Your life isn't slowing down. Your calendar won't clear itself. The needs keep coming, the noise keeps rising, and somewhere in the middle of all of it, you forgot to feel alive. This is your invitation to something different, a joy-centered experience for women of faith who are done waiting for life to settle down before they start living. Joy isn't your reward, it's your right now. Join us at Joy Fest. It's free, it's virtual, and it's made for you. joyuniversity.co